Okay, wait. Oh, transmitting. Okay. It's starting. Something is starting. There's 13 people waiting. Okay, now they can tell us if we are live.
We are live. Yes. Great. Amazing.
Great. Yeah. Good to have you here and good to be live. I guess we just maybe. Oh, you already confirmed that we are live, as you can.
Yes.
Watch the stream.
Okay.
Cool. So maybe a short introduction to the 20 people that are watching us currently. My name is Antoni Hanke, and I'm here with Stanisław Frejlak, an old classmate of mine, which also happens to be the Polish champion in the game of Go, as well as one of the strongest players in Europe, with a lot of achievements and one of the few people with the professional rank in Europe. He has one pro currently, which is above all the amateur Dan ranks. And he agreed, which we're very thankful to him for, he agreed to play a show match against a policy network that we have trained using transformer architectures. So up until basically today, all the policy architectures in the game of Go, according to my knowledge, were trained using convolutional networks. And it seemed logical because, well, first of all, it has the, let's say, spatial structure encoded into the architecture itself. And spatial structure is everything in Go because it all is based on adjacency. However, it might have some shortcomings. For example, the window in the convolution is, let's say, 3x3 or 5x5.
Yes, usually 3x3.
Usually how much? 3x3?
Usually 3x3 in most of the bots.
Right, but we can imagine situations in the game of Go where, for example, there might be a ladder in one corner. A ladder is a certain combination of stones, and it is either very good for black or very good for white, but it depends on exactly what happens in the opposite corner.
Yes.
That's something called ladder breaker. And this might be challenging for a convolution to see right away, because it is limited to only the very neighborhood of the window it scans. And that's why the first architectures like AlphaGo used to have some engineers featured, like just manufactured on top, and one of them actually was the ladder situation.
Whether the ladder works, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it was a long story that after the initial publication of AlphaGo, there was the publication of AlphaGo 0 from the same team, which already didn't use any feature architecture. And well, they also managed to train a superhuman bot without feature architecturing, but they mentioned in the paper that it had problems with ladders. Then this paper was, let's say, reproduced by a team from Facebook with ELF OpenGo. And the Facebook team also made quite some research and published in one paper the findings how hard ladders are for this vanilla bot, for a bot which doesn't use feature engineering. So indeed, processing such a spatial information about things which are on different parts of the board is a problem for convolutional networks. So yeah, and as you say, transformer might solve such problems.
Yes, that's what we hope to see, or maybe see. We don't know yet. We need to actually deep dive into the architecture itself and how it works. But apart from ladders, what I thought about is that also, let's say, a group of stones can be very large. It can stretch from one side of the board to the other. And I remember in my games, it sometimes happened that I could make a group alive because one of the eyes was on one edge of the board, and the group went through all of the board into the other edge and had a second eye somewhere there. I'm not sure if it happens often in professional games, but there also, like, the whole basically evaluation of the game depends on whether there are two eyes, but the eyes can be very far apart. So I'm not sure how convolutions are able to
so
catch that.
a year ago there was a loud article about a strategy which can beat the top level Go bots. And then there was also some article about a human beating, like using those strategies, using Go bots, and so it sounds a bit shocking that you can play even better than these best bots without much effort. And there were some tricks. Like one of the tricks was very uninteresting because it was about some particulars of a specific set of rules. But there was also one strategy which was basically creating a big dead group which stretches all over the board, and then after a lot of time of confusing the strong bot, somehow managing to make life with that group by capturing another group because of having more liberties, and clearly the reason was that the convolutional network cannot process the information on how many liberties a group has very efficiently.
That is correct, and also I think one of the engineers featured by AlphaGo team originally was the number of liberties, or
yes,
some stuff like that. Okay, and one last mention about the architecture. What might be cool about it in the current state, or one of its strengths. So we went with the approach of not feature engineering anything. The only thing we give to the architecture is the raw state of the board, which is only, let's say, length 361 list of tokens, and each token is one of the four following: empty space, white stone, black stone, or I wonder if you can find the fourth needed token so that the board is like perfectly set.
I guess illegal move.
Exactly, because sometimes there is an empty space, but you cannot play because of the call. But once you have those four possibilities for each place on the board, it's, well, I guess it's set. The only thing you need as well is whose move is it, black or white. But that's just a single token which you can add. And that's the only thing we input to the transformer. So first of all, we don't need to feature engineer anything, which is already quite nice. It's also quite concise, like the amount of data we put in is relatively small. So if you calculate, let's say AlphaGo had 50 layers, that's 50 times 19 times 19. That's a lot more than just 19 times 19 tokens. So it takes less memory, and maybe it even speeds up the training. But the other thing which is nice, I think AlphaGo had a few layers telling where the recent moves played.
Yes, and this was a more sophisticated way of dealing with the illegal moves, because like it had 8 previous states to deal with the co, but also with the triple co, which can happen with this cycle of 8.
Okay, I guess
I think, yeah.
I'm not sure if my architecture can solve the triple co, but it doesn't happen much. But the thing that I think it was slightly cheating this way. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So when it was doing the supervised learning of human games, I think from KGS server, it boasted, like AlphaGo boasted, that they achieved an accuracy of 55% or something like that of those games. And well, humans on KGS with rank 4 Dan plus, they are quite strong, but maybe they sometimes play quite fast. They don't think like very deeply about the board. And what usually happens when humans play like that, or at least what I think usually happens, is that when an opponent plays, let's say, a threat, you just answer it, maybe automatically, even though what you should do is like look at the whole board and look whether you could play a threat which is slightly bigger somewhere else, basically a tenuki. And what I think is that this architecture, because it just tried to imitate human moves, and it had the history, that's what at least I observed when I did my first convolutional architecture. It was able to achieve quite high accuracy because it always played in the vicinity of the last move of the opponent. But this is not necessarily like the optimal move, right? Because you should always analyze the whole board and see where to play. But this transformer, because it has no information about history, don't be surprised if it just jumps around the board, because every board is like a new thing to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I think we can start. I will be taking control of the transformer bot. Its strength is unknown. Strength of Xiaxiao is quite known. I guess on the Go servers you would have 9 Dan, or is that?
On the Fox Go server, I am 8 Dan. I am struggling getting up to 9 Dan, but not easy.
Okay, but that's still good to know that, let's say, 9 Dan on Go servers is probably professional players or very, very, very strong players. And what we did with this transformer model, we tried to evaluate its strength by pairing it up with some bots that we had access to. But the only bots I could manage to get access to was Lila 1 Dan and Lila 6 Dan. And with Lila 1 Dan, it was actually winning time by time, which is already quite amazing. With Lila 6 Dan, it did not manage to win. And with myself, it was also winning time by time. But I guess I'm not sure. I'm probably not as strong. Maybe I'm a similar strength as Lila 1 Dan. I would have to check myself again against it. Okay, let us start. Welcome to everyone again. And just as a reminder, we will be playing the transformer policy, which is a completely new thing, and we are wondering whether it has the chance to work, against Stanisław Frejlak, the Polish champion in Go and one of the strongest players in Europe. Good luck.
So have a nice game.
Yes, and we will try to commentate on the game, because we know that many people maybe just know the rules and are not as proficient in Go. So I guess it would be nice if Xiaxiao will be commentating whether the policy made a good move or a bad move, or whether he's winning or struggling. Cool.
All right.
I will be starting. The policy will play quite fast because it's just a policy network, but well, it will not be as fast because I will have to copy the moves of my opponent as well. 1 second. Okay.
So probably for the beginning of the game, we will not focus on it this much, because as I expect, if this bot is trained on seeing human games, it can probably imitate human play in the opening, and it will just play good moves. All right. This is maybe a conservative move, aiming at getting territory in the bottom right corner. All right. I will do a similar thing in my corner, maybe trying to get a bit bigger territory, but then the territory is also more fragile for attack if black ever comes in. Okay. Black continues with a big move on the bottom side. And I will invade under star point. This invasion, 3/3 invasion under star point, is a development seen thanks to actually AI. People by themselves weren't really playing this move, but they learned from AI that it is completely fine. And I can already see after these few moves that the transformer policy is not following the most recent, most modern variations. So probably it is not trained on the games from the last 3 years, but rather on the games played a bit earlier, or maybe also of the games played now, but just the share of these games was not as big. Anyway, after this variation, I got a territory in the top right corner, but black got a big influence towards the right side. So I will play on the right side to not let black swallow all of this as his territory. Okay, this is a good move. It threatens that it kills my corner, and if I now block at S17, then also the black's block at N18 will be center, will be forcing, meaning that I will need to answer. So I will first push at N18 and then block at S17. By the way, I am not sure who are our viewers exactly, like how big Go background they have and how big AI background they all have. But I think that one thing would be good to clarify, that a policy network means that this AI, this neural network, is just passing the information about the board once through itself, but there is no search engine. So it cannot really go deep into variations. So maybe it will at one point make a mistake by not foreseeing what can happen after a few moves, but it should probably have a very good intuition about where is the next biggest move. And so far, all the moves played by black are good. I cannot see any mistake. I think that I also played normally up to now.
Right.
So,
as you mentioned,
normal game.
This is just a policy network, so basically you can treat it as the intuition of the computer. Because we humans, when we analyze, play, I don't know, Go or chess or any other game, we do, let's say, exactly the same three parts that a modern AI machine does when playing this game. We look at the board state and we just, we calculate variance. That's how it's called. But we don't take all our possible moves into consideration, but only, let's say, the strongest or the most sensible moves. That's what is the policy network. It just provides you with the most sensible moves, and as the viewers on the stream actually can see, the bot does not output only one move, but it outputs probabilities of multiple moves that it thinks might be good in this situation. So that's the first part. We only look at sensible moves from our side. Then when we analyze what the opponent will reply, we also probably analyze only the sensible answers from the opponent, then our sensible answers, and this way, instead of having, let's say, 300 possibilities on each step, we have only 10 or 5 or however much we want. That's the first part of a bot, and that's what Siecią is actually playing against currently. But apart from the policy network, what we can do is we can add two more things called, let's say, a search or a tree search, which is basically the part of calculating the variance. But here, well, the breadth of the tree is narrow because we use a policy network, so we can actually control it. But what about the depth? So if we calculate this variant not until the very end of the game, we do not know whether the variant is good for us or bad for us. And it's very hard to calculate the game until the end, because currently I think there's maybe 200 more moves left in this game. So the last part that computers do, or modern AI networks, they have a second network which is called the value network, and this allows to approximate from the current board position who is winning or who will win. It also just outputs a probability of whoever is winning, or a probability of the score that is currently on the board. And this way, when we do the tree search using policy, the tree algorithm, and the value network, we can actually manage to make the tree of a sensible size so that it's actually calculatable. And that's quite interesting that humans actually do the same, because when you calculate a variant, let's say in chess or in Go, if you see that after this variant, let's say you will be in chess a piece up because you found a tactic that captures a piece, you don't calculate the next position until the very end. You just think that you are ahead. That's enough for you to play this variant. Cool. Okay, so we had a slight advancement on this side, and I can already see that the bot is trying to probably have some lower right territory.
Yes. I am not sure about my last two moves. Not often attaching to an opponent's stone is a good move in Go, but I attached at R8, aiming at creating a base and maybe decreasing a little bit the territory of black in the bottom right. However, it also strengthens the bot. So maybe these moves of mine were suboptimal. I don't know, and I guess that you actually know. No, you don't, because you don't have the value network, right?
So that's right, so and that's actually a question we got on the chat. I'm not sure if you're observing the chat.
I haven't, but I can pop it out. It would be useful, yeah.
As you wish. Łukasz Kuciński asked whether we have the assessment of the bots who's winning. We actually do not have, because we do not have the value network yet. I tried to quickly train also a transformer value network, but it seems to be a harder task than training the policy network. I guess after the game, maybe we can talk with Xiaoxia for a moment about how he would approach or how he thinks it should be approached.
Right. Yeah. So other bots, other AI networks playing Go usually have a value network. So if you could now open another AI, then maybe we could see and already all of the viewers of the stream could have bigger knowledge than me about what is happening on the Go board, meaning who is ahead. Right now, the only thing we have is what I think and what I will tell you. And yeah, so far I don't know. Certainly, black's area on the bottom bottom right is very big, but I think that maybe I can still get enough in the other parts of the board to not lose the game.
But you're not saying that you are winning already, or?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that I am winning.
Okay.
I don't know what will happen, because right now we got into a bit complicated fight. The bot, the transformer bot, split my stones. Now the 3 stones of mine are not connected to the other stones put on the right side, but black stones are also disconnected. The 2 stones which black put on the board right now are not connected to the wall above. So there is a fight, and if any of these stones will die, like my 3 stones or black's 2 stones, then it would be a terrible result for one of us. But likely we will both manage somehow, one way or another, to live or to run with our stones. Okay, so this move is interesting, and I think that this might be the first mistake of black, because this move looks like it is aiming at capturing my 3 stones. It tries to disconnect my 2 stones from the 3 stones. And if it succeeds, it would mean that black captures the 3 stones, and by capturing them, black also connects all his stones in that part of the board. So it would be a big strategical gain, strategical success for black. However, if I now cut, this move threatens to capture black's stone. So probably black will connect. Or maybe no, maybe it will not connect.
Okay, what do you think black did? Because I have access.
Okay,
and I'll tell you what's the percentage of the move you said.
So
the largest percentage is 25. So
I thought that maybe black's goal by playing this move was to connect, and it would be like coherent with the previous move, but it would be clearly better to play a different move. For example, Atari at Q15 or connect at M13. Like this.
Okay, connection at M13 is 18%. And the move at Q15 is actually 25%, and it's the move played. And you say it's all right.
All right. Yes. Then it's fine. I think that still the reason why the network played N15 might have been a wrong intuition about whether it is possible to capture my stones or not. Like I am not sure. It's always difficult to interpret what AI outputs. But an important thing for Black is that Black realized in time that it doesn't work and chose a peaceful variation to not try to capture my stones, but rather to just care about his own life. Yeah, so now Black is trying to create a base and to live with the group on the right side.
I guess you won't get much territory on the right side, like middle right side, but I'm not sure if you wanted any territory there.
Yeah, like neither of us will have much territory there. But I will be satisfied if I can capture the 3 stones in the middle of the board. I think that they are more important.
Okay, you can try.
Yeah. So I think it's good to play this Atari first. And then not sure where the best move is. No. Of course, it will connect, but not sure whether I should extend or. By the way, do you also see propositions of AI for my moves?
No, I don't. That maybe I should have, but that maybe would be hard for it to show both. I'm not sure. No. But when the bots play each other, because it is possible to do, then I see both of them. Oh yeah, so I guess you would like to have some additional info.
Okay, this move is not needed, but it also doesn't lose anything. I needed, or maybe it was actually a good exchange because later the stone at M14 might die and Black might have no chance to play it anymore. Okay, I will block. And I expect Black to add a move at S14, but maybe it will also play elsewhere. Because the group is not yet dying. Doesn't need to care about its safeness, its safety.
Okay, we have a few questions from the chat. I will be answering them because I'm not doing much thinking, just copying the moves. So there was a comment from Piotr Miłosz that it should be a good time to make bets. Well, if I had to make a bet, I would bet on Siecią, but I never know because just a single point of distraction and the bot shouldn't make mistakes, so it's not yet set. There was a comment that the match is quite interesting. Oh, this move is actually quite interesting, maybe, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a good move. Keep threatening to cut off my group on the right side. I need to answer this move. I need to connect, and then Black has a possibility probably to run out with the 2 stones, maybe by an attachment at L12. Yeah.
I played it before you said it.
Yes. So this is a good technique by Black, and it's very important to run out with these stones because these stones split my groups. So they have a strategical meaning. If I capture them, then both my groups, the dumpling above and the long group in the middle of the right side, they would be connected, and then it would be a very good position for white. But if the cutting stones run out, then it's not as easy for me.
Right. Some few more comments that it's interesting. I agree. Does the policy use argmax? So indeed, the policy returns the probabilities of all the moves that could be played, and from those probabilities I just select the highest probability and I play that move. So it actually is the argmax, but one could imagine that we could sample from this probability, but probably argmax would be better.
Yeah, no need to sample. I know that in Katago, the strongest open source bot, they use sampling from like moves returned by a tree search in the beginning of the game, just to get bigger variety of games played. So not to observe every time the same game, they sample. But better to use argmax, yes.
Right. And there was a question from Mateusz Olko. How big is the MCTS tree used by the policy? And Martina actually answered correctly. There is no MCTS tree. The policy is just a single pass through the network.
Yes.
And it already seems to play quite well, at least from my eye. I'm not sure if you shall agree.
Yeah, I am pondering too much. Okay, I will play this one. I don't know where is the best move for white, but anyway, I am not able to capture the stones of black.
Well, you don't yet know if
if it doesn't make a mistake. It plays too confident, too well. So I will not capture. Yeah. A bit strange. So now black will go up. Yeah. And I can play Atari twice to destroy black's shape and to get some additional moves by myself. But as you can see, all the stones of black, which were first grouped there at N13, O13, they now managed to go out towards the center of the board. All right, the game continues. I don't know how the score is right now. I think it was a compromise, what happened in the end. No one died. So, yeah.
I can tell from my side that so there is no tree search, there is no, let's say, variant calculation in this policy network, just a policy network. But it seems to play very well. So my maybe idea or my hypothesis behind that is maybe there is a small tree search already, let's say, encoded in the parameters in the transformer itself. That would be actually quite interesting and amazing.
Yes, yeah. likely there is. By the way, how is it have like layers like I know that actually some transformers do use convolution first a few times, then that transformer of like query, key query, something. What is the architecture here?
So this is actually a pretty much off-the-shelf architecture taking from Hugging Face. I think it's the BART model, and there are a lot of different parameters, but I think there's, I don't know, 5 blocks or something. I would actually have to reopen the source code.
Okay.
But yeah, it's basically a BART model, and we did not do much fine-tuning there. As you said, we could do some combination between convolution and transformer. We have that in our plans, but as of now, the transformer seems to be already good on its own. So, okay. Piotr Miłosz says he bets 1 beer for Stanisław. Sebastian Jaszczur, however, on the other hand, bets on the transformer. I think he's a quite proponent of the transformer architecture. I know that a lot of his works are based around that transformers will conquer the world.
Yeah. It's great to see that you brought this development in AI to Go. Because like already what was to be done was done, that people managed to create a superhuman AI, and it might be that now no one will be interested in developing any other Go playing bots. But actually, there is still a lot of things to be done. Among other reasons is that these bots have some flaws, which we talked about in the beginning. The most spectacular being the ladders, that the bots sometimes cannot assess who a ladder situation is good for, even though this is a situation which is learned by the total beginners in the game of Go. So a beginner can solve a question which superhuman AI cannot solve. Quite a bizarre situation.
Okay, there's a lot of bets going on in the chat. Actually, Martina is helping with answering some of the questions, let's say about the architecture. And actually, Martina is, I think, one of the people who created the code that we used for this architecture. So it's good to have her help with answering. Wow, I think there are more bets on AI than on you, Shasho.
Yeah, I didn't gather enough fans for this match, it seems.
But it's not yet set.
Yeah, we are heading into a completely crazy fight on the left side because both me and Black left quite a few cutting points in our shapes, and now we are going for them. I cut Black at E9, and now Black cut me at D12. And as everyone can see, there are a lot of disconnected groups of stones of both of us. So
the last move that the AI played, I can tell you that there were 7 moves with almost equal probability, around like, let's say 15%.
Oh, really?
Basically, like any Atari on the 2 stones. This
no,
extension...
but C12 is the best. It is like, from my eyes, it is clearly the best out of these moves.
Okay, well, it was the best in AI, but also, let's say, the stone you played right now was also quite a high possibility, and Atari on F9 was quite high. But
yeah.
But I guess all of those moves, without any calculation, at least would have to be considered.
Yes.
So that's good that it actually considers it.
Yeah, when I analyzed the situation before we went into these cuts, I was also thinking what can happen, and I also considered all these possible moves of Black, like a few possibilities, 5 possibilities probably. So it has an intuition which moves should be considered, and I think that it chose the strongest move as the most probable one. All right, I will go up so that Black doesn't capture my stone in a ladder. So here there was a chance to play a ladder. If Black played at F9, then my stone at E9 would have died. There would be no way for me to save it. But Black didn't do it because capturing that stone would mean giving up on the fight on the left side. And perhaps it was a correct choice to still add a move on the left side, the C8, which Black played, the turn at C8. So now I made sure that my stone at E9 will not die very easily, but now I need to go back to the fight on the left side, because the most important stones on this board are right now the stones at D10 and D11, these 2 stones of white. If they die, then 3 groups of Black suddenly all get connected, and then I am in a very poor situation. That's why I added the move at B12. Probably now my stones will not be captured. And Black also seems to think so, that right now it's not a good moment to continue a fight there on the left side, and rather it goes out with the stones with this move at E7. I will still aim at saving my cutting stone at E9, so I push. And by this move, I am also a little bit trying to surround the central group of Black. So maybe I can eventually even capture it if Black makes a mistake.
But no big blunders yet.
Yeah, no big blunders by Black, and luckily also no big blunders yet by me. There is one tricky thing about all this position, that my group on the right side is not yet completely alive. For the group in Go to be alive, it needs to have 2 eyes. Have 2 distinct surrounded parts of territory, let's say. And if you look very closely at the group at the right side, it can locally be killed. It is possible for Black to let it not have 2 eyes. So I need to be very careful in all of this. I wonder. I shall not make a mistake. Ay.
Would it be safe to say that if you also, let's say, played your own policy or intuition only, then you would have a quite hard time without any
this would be probably a fair thing to do, but it is also quite difficult for me to kind of turn off my search engine. but I can try to be a bit more like this. So I play this move, and I am not completely sure if it works, if it will give me the result I want. But let's see. I think it can actually cause some troubles to black. So now this move of mine aims at two things at the same time. First of all, at disconnecting black stones with J12, and second of all, for disconnecting black stones with J10. And black decided to connect at J10 to not lose all the stones, but then it seems that I can capture the dumpling in the middle of the board. So this dumpling is quite important, and I would call it my first success in this game.
What do you think the bot would play now?
I think that it would ignore the situation in the center, or at least it should ignore the situation in the center and play something on the bottom of the board, because even though I captured something, still black gets a big advantage on the bottom of the board, and I might be in trouble there.
Okay, that's what the bot played.
Yes. This is a good move. Yeah.
Shows, like, let's say, some strategic understanding of the bot, because even though it gave up this dumpling, as you said, in the middle of the board, if black secures the whole bottom, that already you can see, let's say, a dotted border. A dotted, I mean, let's say, not a solid one, but you can see that every second stone is pretty much black's. Then if it surrounds the whole thing, let's say the whole half of the bottom of the board, then it might be in a good position.
Yes, that's true. Okay, but on the other hand, this move I did not expect. It's quite aggressive. I thought that it will be fine with just extending.
22% for extension and 24% for this one. So
I see. Yeah. So you need to choose. You need to choose by argmax. Yeah. But this will certainly lead to more fight, because now I can cut black stones. So I can split black stones. Yeah. All right. Bot is asking difficult questions. Yeah, I will just capture this stone, but it extends this stone not to save it, but to sacrifice it. So I am sure that this program understands such concepts as sacrifice, and there is a proverb in Go that if you are about to sacrifice one stone, then better sacrifice two. And the AI follows this proverb. Gave up two stones, but on the other hand, it was able to get more forcing moves all around my stones. So my up now is that I managed to expand my position towards this bottom side of black, but the disadvantage is that black managed to get something in the corner. Now again, we swapped a bit, because black decided that it's very important to capture my 5 stones in the center. That's what the previous move at h6 did. But then on the other hand, I get a chance to maybe regain my corner. It used to be mine, then it became black's, but now it seems that it will become mine again, unless black will find some brilliant sequence here. So this move tries to capture my 3 stones. It takes away liberty. I have only 2 liberties left at a4 and a5, but I have a witty move, which is this cut. And here, this is, I would say, the first blunder. This is clearly a wrong move by black, because there were other ways of black to tackle the situation. Black, instead of playing b6, black could have extended at c6, and then I would capture the stones in the corner, but black would still get the next move, and black would get a good position around here. But like this, like this, black will still die with the stones in the corner, and also black will not get a good position. Like we see that now black lost the stone at c6. Now with this move, I captured the stone at b6, and the corner stones are also almost dead. There is it fights for making them alive. I think it's also not as an important issue right now, and I will just play elsewhere, because this is at the end of the day, it is not super big. I wonder, like, it's big, but is it? I think I shouldn't play here right now. I will just invade the bottom side of the board and try to create a living group there, because as we talked before, it's very important whether if black manages to capture all this bottom side, then black might be in a quite good quite good position. That's why I am trying to build a group. I will care about the safety of the other group first. Okay. And then I will proceed from the stone at M3. So now there is a big question whether black can kill this group of mine.
So when I played against this bot, I often had this situation like this, that the bot had a big Moya and I just tried to invade and it killed me every time, but maybe it's because I'm a weak player.
So let's see. Yeah, I feel very, very insecure about this invasion because clearly there are so many stones of black everywhere. But I also feel that I was kind of forced to do it by the circumstances. I will try my best. Okay. This move threatens a little bit that the dumpling in the center might get saved. No, it threatens completely. Okay, with the next move, black can save the dumpling. So this would be too bad. I like that eating that dumpling. I cannot really give it away. So where should I play? Difficult position.
You said that the bot made a blunder on the left side, but maybe you will counter blunder.
Yes. This looks a bit like a counter blunder of mine, because now my position became a bit difficult. So okay, so now black can save the dumpling by playing at K11. Yeah, and I didn't see a good move which would.
So actually, it didn't even consider in the top 8 moves K11. It still plays here.
It's understandable because right now there is a fierce fight happening on the bottom side. And even if black goes out with K11, I might get an advantage on the bottom side. So probably it shouldn't play there now, but it can play there later. There is also another question. As this bot doesn't have any search, it might not understand that saving the stones with K11 also threatens killing my whole group on the right side. If the bot understood it, then it would value that possibility much higher. And like this, maybe it will not realize that how big advantage it can get by playing those moves.
To be honest, even I don't see on the first, like, let's say, blink of an eye how to kill the whole group.
On the right side, yes.
It's quite complicated. There is this big area here, almost like a half eye on R10, which with a few moves could become an eye. It's not clear to me how exactly this can be killed, so maybe, as you say, the bot doesn't see it yet.
Yeah. That's indeed a complicated position, and now we are both involved in another fight, in the fight on the bottom, which is also very exciting. I made an invasion in the bot's area on the bottom side, and it was quite difficult to survive. But now I have a hope. I might survive if I capture black stones. So this would be very unfair because I was the guest here in that area, but now I am trying to capture my host, who let me in. And we have a fight between my group and black's group. So black's group at K3 is not connected to other stones of black. It also doesn't have 2 eyes. So not sure if it will manage to make life. Interesting move of black. Okay, I will answer. I will not try anything too crazy. I will answer and take away a liberty from black. This is a good move. But I can actually also switch to another capture. Right now, it looks like a situation which might finish in a capturing race, meaning that there are 2 groups. Both of them by themselves are not alive, meaning that they cannot create 2 eyes, and their only chance to live is by capturing the group of the opponent. So the one who will be faster in this race, who will take away the liberties of the opponents faster, will live, and the opponent will die.
How would you say it's best to respond right now?
I have no idea. There is possibility of playing h2, there is possibility of playing l2, and there is a possibility of creating a ko by l1. And all these moves are difficult to read because, like, you would need to look through this capturing race. You would need to try to imagine a few steps ahead. So we got into a ko, and this is a threat. But I think that I can accept this threat. I can accept black threatening that he saves the group of his, because it saves his group, but I also save my stones on the bottom.
What do you think was played right now? That's an interesting.
If now black plays at h4, I just simply capture at h1 and I am satisfied. If black captures at h2, I connect and we continue a ko. I don't know which of these it plays, but it might also play another threat, like somewhere completely else on the board. Okay, yeah. So this is a very powerful move which we discussed before, and yeah, I think it's a right choice. Yeah, oh, why not? Why not? It's a good play by itself. So yeah, so I am a bit puzzled. Can I let it be? I think I cannot really. Okay. So I will answer once. Or maybe twice, depending how it develops. Okay, so now it ignored. And I think that I need to answer to the previous threat of black. No other choice. And it captures again, yes. And now I can either look for a threat, for a move which aims at getting a big profit somewhere on the board, or I might just connect calmly at n1. So I will connect. I am not sure how this capturing race is gonna end. I believe that now black might capture at h2. Yes, this is what happened. And we fight the ko. And again, the bot might play a threat at l10, which is a continuation of the previous threat. Yes, so it captured. I will also play here. And likely bot will capture at m2, or maybe it will also continue somehow in the center. I don't know. Okay, it continues. Yes, this is indeed a very big move. So likely it is the correct choice. And I am actually quite afraid of death. Yes, I am afraid of death, but I am also afraid of giving it an advantage somewhere. So where should I play? 1, 2, 3. I think I will play this move, which is indirectly trying to help my group on the right side. Because if black tries to kill that group, then I might actually provoke a capturing race against the group of black on the top side. Now black captures
the group on the top side of black. You mean in the top right corner or somewhere?
Yes. That
it
group
must be alive.
Yes, it is alive. But if black tries to kill me by playing p9 move, I can get t10 by a forcing move, and then t12 and t11 again by forcing moves, and then locally kill it.
Okay.
And also the move at k17 had another meaning, which is it gave me certainly threats. Now this move threatens to kill the group on the top right side of black, so I can continue the ko. Okay, this move also might locally kill me, but it is not as clear as the other move, as the move at p9, but it doesn't run into this problem with the that the group of black might die. The group of black on the top right. Yeah, so I cannot let it be. This move is very important, both because
what
of
do
the
you
life.
think now was played?
I don't know. It is difficult for black to finish the ko. Okay, it finishes the ko. It's of course a very big move, but the problem is it doesn't resolve the situation completely, because I can still provoke a ko by a move at h1. and I see no reason to not try it. So yeah, I think I will throw in now. Okay, yeah, let me throw in. Also, it became quite risky for me because now my group on the bottom side, like the group at E2, E3, is in danger. So I think that I must play D1 as a threat or as a move which helps that group. Wow, it looks a bit random. It looks a bit random, but what can we do? Okay, so I capture the com, and I wonder where the next move of the bot is. I am not sure if the policy network can handle so complicated situations very well. The situation of multiple calls. So, for example, now this move, yeah, it threatens to kill my group on the right side, but I play a move which has not only which serves not only a purpose of helping my group, but also it lets it go out and pull hand towards my weak stones on the bottom side. So I think that right now black is collapsing. Like for the first moment in this game, I start feeling confident about how the game will develop for me. It was crazily complicated until now, but right now it seems that I managed to get this strategical goal of destroying black's area on the bottom, and still black's group on the bottom is not completely alive. Still there is a core. So yeah, so I think that the position became quite challenging for black. Yeah. I need to find a thread.
What would happen if you connected at G1 right now?
At the G1, well,
Maybe I shouldn't help.
It feels so slack. I mean, I considered it, but it feels so slack to play there, and then I cannot capture black still, because still there will be a call, because still there will be a capturing race between that group of black and my 4 stones at L4, L5, K6, J6. So, because I still don't capture black's group, I am not really attracted to that move. Okay, this is not a bad play by black. Yeah, I will answer. Yeah. Okay. It connected. Interesting. So this connection has a special meaning because it destroys my eye on the bottom side, and then my whole group on the right side is still not completely alive. And as we said, maybe a convolutional network might be a bit handicapped. I mean, might not really well tackle situations with very long groups, very long dragons. But here we are playing against a transformer. So a transformer might have learned the notion of eyes, and then it might understand that this group has only one real eye at P12, Q12, P11, Q11. So this is for sure my eye. But the R10 is not my eye. It is so-called false eye because of black stones at S11 and S9. And my position on the bottom, it lets me create one eye if I play at O3, but I need to lose one move to create the second eye. So my group is not completely alive. Luckily, I have threats which threaten both to capture a lot of black stones on the right side and also to make eyes for my group. So that's what I used right now. Okay, this is a good threat of black, of course. Well played. And now I continue with my threat here. Yeah. So I expect a move at Q5 because it also threatens to capture my group, but maybe black can have some other idea. maybe also O6 instead of Q5.
Wait, I think I might have lost a move. Did I wait. So here, a few moves back. Wait, you extended, black extended.
Yeah, I extended at S3 with my second last move. Black extended at S2, and I recaptured the ko at J2. So I can peep at the stream to see.
Yes, you can see, because there's a move missing at O2, and I wonder what happened, because I
when black played at O3, I connected at O2. So maybe you put my extension at S3 instead of my move at O2.
Maybe. Let's think if we can resolve this.
Yes. So if now,
let's say now.
Now it is whose turn on your?
Now I have to input white's move.
So you would need to input a move at O2, but you don't have a possibility to make back to go back.
I do, but it would be faster if we just maybe with some passes.
No, yeah, but the thing is that right now it is impossible for black to recapture the ko. So so you cannot really achieve this with passes. So try to remove the last 3 moves, and then we will recreate it. I think we will manage.
Okay, sure. This should be fine enough, because I created a module especially for that case, so that I can, let's say, reverse how many moves? Let's say 3 last moves, and with your help we will quickly be on our way.
Yeah. So I hope that your program doesn't broke.
No, it should be fine, because.
Okay.
Okay, and now we can load mygame.sgf. And let's see if it actually works.
Yeah, I think that on the stream anyway there is some delay, so I will not see very fast, but I can tell you what was the order of moves. And by the way, on the chat yes.
Okay. So right now the last move of black was
what S was. It was
O3, and then you blocked.
I connected at O2, then black recaptured the ko at H2. I played at S3, black played at S2, and I recaptured the ko.
Okay, so you connected, black recaptured the ko, you extended down at
yes,
S3.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay, he extended down as well, and then you recaptured.
Yes, this is how it went.
And somehow it fixed itself.
All right, good, great.
I knew that this will happen at least once, and I wonder how much stress do people have, let's say, in the AlphaGo match against Lisa Doll. There's this one guy that looked at the computer and played the moves on the board.
Yes.
He must have been in so much stress. I can't imagine, because just the simplest mistake of inputting or omitting a move.
Yeah.
Change the
okay. Bartłomiej asks on the chat about what is the strategy of the bots, whether it is a greedy strategy or a beam search. Well, it is the policy network which outputs probability over possible moves, and then the move with the biggest probability is chosen. It is just
right. But I can answer this question, because in the BART model you usually output a sequence of many tokens. And there it actually matters whether you use greedy search or beam search.
Yes,
how to select the whole sequence. But here, because the sequence is just of length 1, it's just a single token representing where to play. It does not matter whether we use greedy or beam search because it's just a sequence of length 1.
Yes, true.
Okay, so you played here.
I played a threat. Okay, and I recaptured the Ko. I put my stones under Atari, the 4 stones, but they don't matter much because we are right now playing a Ko, which is for much bigger stake. Okay, so black captured, but now I recaptured this Ko, and actually I think that now there is no way for black to save the 9 stones on the bottom. Still there is some Ko, but actually I don't need to care about this Ko, and you will see in a moment. So for now I just answer black's move. And after black recaptures the Ko, I can just connect here. And I have enough liberties with the first stones. Yes.
Issues. 1 moment. Let me check my OBS. Oops.
The view. I see. Okay.
But how did this happen?
A part of PyCharm.
Do you like PyCharm or not?
Yes, I use PyCharm. I don't know. Maybe it's better to switch to Visual Studio.
Why?
But
Why you say so?
I don't know. Isn't it better?
Okay, 1 second. I'm not sure if I'll be able to exactly recover the. Oh no.
The view?
Yeah, because I had the sizes of the windows in a specific manner. Okay, I almost.
But it's all right. Like you can do it all by hand. Like.
Yeah, I think it's better. It's fixed now. It should be fixed. Cool.
Yeah, and also we still okay. Yeah, good.
So now you.
It is shown in PyCharm. Great. This I didn't expect. Wow. No Visual Studio Code, but recently I found out that Visual Studio Code has this plugin with ChatGPT, so you don't need to switch to your browser to talk with ChatGPT, and I find it very convenient. How would I rate the playing style of network? More conservative and passive, just reacting to your move, or does it seem to have its own agenda? Okay, interesting question. So I guess the view issue is solved by now, right?
It should be solved, I think.
Okay. And regarding the question about the style, like certainly it is not that it is just answering my moves. I rather have an impression of playing with a mature player who plays what is biggest. And not really where I played, but I think that from what I saw, it is a little bit aggressive. So there were quite a few situations, like the move at d9, Hane at d9, or the Hane at f3, which were taking quite some risk, and I think that sometimes it was an unnecessary risk. So there are 2 things how I could comment on this. First of all, it might be all like it is reflecting what moves the bot saw in the human games, right? Because the bot is taught on the human games. So maybe if the humans were rather aggressive, then the bot will also be aggressive. But then there is also another thing. Which is about the score assessment. This bot doesn't have a value network. It doesn't know whether it is winning or losing, and it doesn't choose its next move based on this. So theoretically, we might hope that the transformer will learn somehow to extract this information of the score from how the board looks, and then. It might, based on this, guess what is the most likely next move of a human. But it is too complicated. I can quite confidently say that rather it is not possible for a network to learn to take into account the score estimation if it was not trained specifically for this goal with such a loss. And other bots like Katago, like AlphaGo, they have an access to this information about the score. So and this doesn't. So because of this, it doesn't know when it should aim for more and when it should use a peaceful play because the position already looks good for the bot. And I think that when the game was around the move at f3, when we said that the bot had the possibility of playing a bit more peacefully and grabbing all the territory on the bottom side, probably at that moment the bot might have had an advantage. I think that I might have made some mistakes before, and it might be that it was a good game for Black. But Black didn't slow down, still played the aggressive move, and after a fight happened, I got the upper hand in the fight. So in this sense, I was lucky. So this is why the value network can be very useful, and then the bot might be much stronger if it is trained with such a goal. So right now the game is kind of over, I would say. There is no way Black can go back to the game because on the bottom side, where it was supposed to be Black's territory, in the end it is my territory because I captured this dumpling of 9 stones of Black. But this bot will not resign because it doesn't have the model which the network which would tell it anything about the score. So it doesn't know that it doesn't have any more chances, and it will continue playing until the end. We can quickly play until the end; it's no problem.
Yeah,
the game is
if you
anyway
want,
about to finish.
We can see whether it plays good end game or whether it knows when to
Yeah.
pass.
Yeah, so it can also pass. So the
Yes.
output is 362 because it also has the passes, and then we will see the score on KGS, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have also counting score in your program.
That's
but
one of the questions because actually counting the score is not that trivial of a task, is it? Because you need to know which groups are dead in the end.
Yes. So if you take a closer look into how this is resolved in Katago or also in AlphaGo, the first approach they use is playing on how are they called? On some different rule set, not the Japanese rules which we all are accustomed to, but some rules which are very easily understandable for computers. By the way, here the bot made a slight mistake by answering to my move. It could have answered with another move, and it could also try to capture my group on in the top right, or at least play a center move against it, but it didn't. So here it was a bit bad. It just answered my moves without thinking. So the so-called Trompe-Taylor rules, they made it possible for every player to capture all the dead stones, like to take them physically from the board. Just play the move surrounding all the stones and then capture them without losing points. In Japanese rules, on the other hand, it loses points, so that's why we don't do it. And to implement such rules, well, again, if you will have a value network, you can. Wait, I think from the value network you can somehow understand that the game is finished and you can pass, or you can just keep playing. This was, by the way, a good move by Black. This Q1, it was 1 point. It was 1 point in my center. So okay, so it was just as big as this move at N8. Well, it plays endgame normally. It doesn't make any big mistakes. But now I need to start worrying a bit because soon I will have not enough liberties. and the position on the bottom might change completely because suddenly it will be me dying and not the bot. So now I will invest a move, and then I will take it away its liberties at k5 and k3. Okay, I played the move, so the bot doesn't try to capture all my group on the right side, and I capture the 9 stones. Yeah, and then how other rules are implemented? I think it can be found because it is we are not the first people to solve this problem. So maybe it is even described in the category paper
right now.
This is, by the way, a slight mistake, so you can pass. But in fact, there is one more point to be taken. So after this move, black will be forced. Oh no, maybe not. Will black be forced to play at h8? No, black will not. So here actually it was my mistake.
And also it might be the case that my module, after it passes once, it might not be able to pass another time.
Okay, but it's no problem.
So it cannot pass, it had to play somewhere.
Okay, so let's just play the neutral points. Now that I look again at the position, the move at h8
my bot crashed, which means that it tried to pass another time.
Okay,
Shall I
so
revert it or?
No, let us play the neutral point because the game has finished. So we don't
in this because this is probably Japanese rules. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter if we play who plays how many neutral points. So just play at m16. I will answer at l16 to connect my stones, and then we can pass and count the score.
Okay, so I'll just pass.
Yeah. So in the end,
okay. So let me quickly explain. Right now, the game finished, but and Shasha already started selecting the dead groups. But can you revert the selection?
Yes, of course.
So, as the game finishes, the rules state that your territory is any enclosed space with no alive stones of the opponent. That's pretty much it. But so as you can say, for example, on the bottom there is white territory because there is no black stones, and it's completely enclosed. On the, let's say, on the right there is some black territory, some small, 5 points. On the top right there is white territory. But as we were discussing like a minute earlier, in order to fully evaluate the board, we need to know which stones are alive and which stones are dead. And Shasho made a comment in the beginning that for a group to be alive, it needs to have 2 eyes, but sometimes the eye is false, sometimes not, sometimes it can be made false, sometimes not. And strong players know that quite well, whether a group is strong or dead or alive. Although I think it maybe happened a few times in like professional gameplay that some group was confused, or maybe in amateur gameplay it might have happened, because it's not a trivial task. And as we said, it's especially hard, like even when we thought about creating our own value network, and let's say playing a simple value network which is just playing the policy until the end and calculating the score. Something like that, a random rollout from the policy. But then the score at the end is actually not trivial, so that's what stopped us from doing that. And you said that there is another rule set which allows...
Trump Taylor is the most computer-friendly rule set.
And it requires, so in the Trump Taylor rule set, it would be the case that you would have to capture the stones, and only territory is the ones without enemy stones, right?
Yes.
But then, as you saw, this policy was trained probably on games from Japanese or Chinese rule set or mix.
So it will not capture these stones,
yes.
Right? This you mean? Okay, yeah, but like it's like anyway, if the project is to go a bit further, probably you need to incorporate also some other type of training than just guessing the moves from humans, from human games, because like maybe there is still some space for development to I don't know, maybe have a better architecture, or I don't know, have the training made a bit differently, and then it can be a bit stronger, but probably it cannot reach the professional level with this type of training. By the way, this task of training a network to predict human moves was done before, and like before AlphaGo appeared, the team from Facebook had already quite good results with a convolutional network predicting moves, and that network also achieved the level of strong amateur players. Currently,
you know? Let's say you said this Facebook did the thing. Do you know what was the accuracy? Because I know the first AlphaGo said that their accuracy, the best network, had 54% accuracy in predicting human moves. Do you remember?
I don't know. Like probably it was comparable. I can find the article because I have all these Go-related AI articles saved in my browser. Yeah, so basically, when AlphaGo appeared, it was the time when it was a race between a few AI centers trying to create a strong bot. If DeepMind didn't do it, probably Facebook would do it or someone else, because there was already quite much research on how the neural networks can achieve good results in Go.
So I can just pull up a quick chart showing the results of.
By the way, do you have Catrain?
No, because I do not have.
Okay, and okay, maybe we upload this game to AI Sensei. Do you know this website? Then we can fastly get the graph, and it will be quite nice to see that black had an advantage at some point.
Right. Okay. Wait. I don't think it will work this way.
We can do it without having an account, because I think I somewhere have an account, but anyway, we don't need a very in-depth analysis. So I sent you a link to the online artificial intelligence Go platform, AISensei.com. And there you can upload the game of ours. If you have the SGF of it, you can grab it either from KGS or maybe from PyCharm.
Yeah, from PyCharm I can.
Okay, good. And then just go to that website, and you can just upload the game. You need to sign in, but then you sign in with your email quickly, and you can see the analysis.
Okay, if you can look at the stream for a moment, I think it's set up correctly right now.
Yeah.
On the right, instead of the brain of the network, we have a graph showing the accuracy of this policy network. Accuracy meaning how many times it predicted the correct move of the human player. And this move is obviously sampled from data other than training data, so it's like evaluation data. And in the end, the accuracy was, let's say, about 52%, almost 51%, which, in my opinion, is quite a good result, considering that it was only trained for 2 days. It did not submit to any hyperparameter grid. We just took the first hyperparameters we had. And like after hyperparameter optimization, AlphaGo achieved 54% in its best combination. So probably after some tweaking, this could be boosted a bit, and I think it would be quite easy for this network to achieve the policy network to achieve the same accuracy as AlphaGo.
That's actually very good, because this is already a proof of concept and a reason to publish a paper that you have a better policy network predicting human moves than earlier research. So even if it will not play at the same level as AlphaGo, it already shows something.
Okay, I think I opened. I didn't even have to log in into AI Sensei, or maybe I was logged in. I probably was logged in. So let me just quickly switch the
window. Yes, and Gratian asks about how do I rate the level of the network in ELO. So I don't know. It is a very strange opponent, and it's always like this with policy networks. Also with those other Lila and Katago. If you play against policy networks, you feel that you are playing with a super strong player, but then it can make simple mistakes. And in this game, it was a few times that it blundered because it doesn't have the search, and also maybe because it doesn't have the value network, but more importantly because it doesn't have the search. So it is a strange player combining very strong parts and very weak. Maybe one can call it a drunken master, pijany mistrz, because it is like it has good intuition, but tactics sometimes can be flawed. Also, not always. In the beginning, it played quite well tactically. Maybe it is like 2,300 ELO, so maybe it is like 3-dan European 3-dan level. Difficult to say.
Okay, so I am showing on the stream the AI Sensei thing, and it has a really nice feature of go to the next error. But before that, let's play. There were a few moves, and white was slightly ahead. It says +10, +7,
so we
+5.
both played quite well with only slight mistakes.
But then at some point, black had an advantage on move in the center when it connected. I'm not sure how much of a deal.
So
what I will do is can I share my screen on Discord? It should be possible. Let me try it. It should be possible, I hope.
So that we can discuss together. Yes, great.
So you can try and look at the Discord and there
now I see. So I played this great Tesuji of mine, which made it possible to capture the dumpling, and I was so happy. But actually, it lost the whole board situation from perspective.
Yes, you were inaccurate, slightly off, but acceptable.
Okay, but still, I lost quite a few points. And after that, black gets an advantage.
Yes, and says the AI also commented, "Nice, that's an AI move."
On the move of your
the AI. So I guess they know each other.
Yeah. Okay, so now
here the black was winning by how much? 1.5 point by the network, but we don't know actually the strength of this AI Sensei network, right?
AI Sensei is super strong. AI Sensei knows, but this 1.5 is difficult to interpret in such a complex situation because we don't know what will happen with black's area on the bottom. Can you go 2 moves back to see whether that Hane was all right? The Hane was all right. Hane was all right. Like jump and then black played Hane. So this I was
found
surprised
the AI
with.
move.
Yes, this was a good move, but to my cut, it answered incorrectly.
Yes.
Because this let me get a strong position, on the. You can hide tutorial for this session.
Where do we have it?
You press on that arrow which you pressed on, and hide tutorial. Yes.
So this the blue move is the best one.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And actually, what we can do. Is we can go back to this position. It all should be saved in my folder named plots and see whether this move was considered by the computer.
Yeah.
So which move is this? 111, right? No, wait. Oh no, I have to go through PyCharm, but I'll just quickly revert and see whether it was even considered and how much percentage. Maybe it was really close, and if it was really close, then we hope the so actually, let me just quickly show you on the stream. Oh no, I cannot because I'm not sharing my screen. I will share you the whole screen instead of.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you see right now?
I can see, yes.
So I'm not sure how well you can see. I'll maybe enlarge it slightly.
I can see a bit. I don't see exact numbers, but I see that it was considered.
So if you look at the exact numbers, it was a tie, almost a tie, probably because of truncation.
Yes.
And it was tied with the best move, right?
Yeah.
So we hope that the MCTS tree in this sort of a position will play just the better move, right?
Yes. Likely.
And with that, it would be probably
Much stronger.
And then
I think that it might account for a few stones. I think that if you can, but to add MCTS,
we need value.
You need value. Yes.
So our idea currently, which would be relatively fast and could achieve actually great results, would be to just take a ready value from an open source network and just attach it to our policy.
Well, yes, but then
no. But look, what if it is the case that value is easier to approximate by a convolutional network, but the policy is easier to approximate by a transformer network.
But you know what happens in the current nets? Like in AlphaGo, there were two networks: one value network, one policy network. But then already in AlphaGo 0, they merged it into one network, and now CataGo also has only one network with two heads. So there are 40 blocks, 40 convolutional blocks, and then one head which assesses the policy, and one head which assesses the score estimation.
Right. So this would be a crude approximation, but we can still do that. Like we can just use one of the heads, right?
You can do that, but then unfortunately it will, like, your computation will not be faster than the computation of just using CataGo, because you will anyway run CataGo or Lila and anyway run your network, so it will be like still using the full power of that one, but just replacing one component, which is the policy. So yeah, it would be good if you can also train a value network, but it's maybe more difficult.
Yeah, it seems not that straightforward. But I just wonder, because at some point black regained the advantage somehow.
Yes. Here. This sad face means that after I play this move, the two stones will probably die, even though they wouldn't die if I didn't play the move. So now I should have made life with my group. This was the correct choice. But instead I played that move, which
Okay, and AI found the best move, and then you again played
a mistake, actually a quite big mistake.
But then AI also played the mistake. It should have attacked.
This is a move which I talked about, that it kills locally my group, but then I can also locally kill the group of black. So it becomes a very complicated fight, and it's difficult to say. And I think that actually even AI Sensei might make mistakes in such situations, because it has only 50 playouts. So as this is a quite complicated capturing race, it might not count correctly how many liberties who has. But likely it is right.
So this move, this optimal move, also appeared, but only at 4%.
I see.
I'm not sure if you can see now.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it's at least calming that in the top 8 it's considered.
Yeah.
Probably when you do an MCTS tree, I'm not sure how you adjust the number of moves considered, but top 8, I guess, at each point you could extend by the top 8 moves, or do they use more or less?
They expand based on the they basically combine the policy values of all moves with the estimates which come from the value network from leaves. So they use both informations, and at the beginning the policy information is more important, but there is a decaying lambda parameter which makes it less and less important, and the value network assessments more important. And anyway, at one point it will consider all the moves which are output by policy network, because it is the iterative process, and it compensates the researching more the moves which have good policy, and researching the moves which were not checked at all. So after, I don't know, 500 playouts or after 50 playouts, it will already go into this move which is at 4%, and it will maybe realize that it actually gives a good chance of winning.
So it should actually find this move. So but then still there was some great moves.
Yeah, and now the same problem that it played from the wrong side. Yeah.
Okay, and just maybe the last of this sort, whether it... Yeah, it was 13% to play there. So all the, let's say, blunders are still relatively high percentage. The blunder at the beginning was actually almost tied, so unfortunate.
Yeah.
But with a research, it probably should be fixed. So as you said, probably the done level of this just policy network is about 3 done, which probably makes sense because it's won against Lila 1 done, lost against Lila 6 done. So it should be around this level. But I expect that with the at research, the strength should rise by at least a few stones, as you said. So probably maybe, well, depends probably on the value network and the amount of passes and the structure of that research. But maybe it could be even achieve a superhuman level.
I think this is a wild guess. Like it depends how strong it depends how strong your value network is. So in fact, probably with just adding some easy to create value network without running a very long training, without spending maybe more resources on that than on training the policy network, it can achieve maybe a professional level, but not yet a superhuman level. Something like the first iteration of AlphaGo, which was, or maybe, I don't know. First iteration of AlphaGo was certainly a professional level, but not yet the superhuman.
Right,
the
but only with just simple tools, because those simple tools would already eliminate those blunders, right?
Yeah.
We see that they are almost tied. And without those blunders, you will probably have a tough game, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's good to hear. Obviously, the biggest challenge is the value network as well as the scoring system. So it's very helpful that you already set some of the results that can be used. And I guess if we would like to, you could be our group's expert in the field of Go, because your help is invaluable, even within like the Go game itself, like playing the bot, as well as doing research, or like actually just on the top of your mind providing what results were used. And this actually, first of all, it would be a great help for our group. Second of all, let's say if you are a part of the publication, like a co-author, because of your strong, let's say, Go renoma, even the rank of the publication is already stronger. I guess you know what I mean. And it might be an interesting collaboration to just maybe achieve some really interesting results. So I hope I hope it's not the only, let's say, meeting we had. And
sure.
And this would be great to have you on board in this project in any way you could help, and we know that you can help in a lot of different ways. So I guess that concludes the meeting we had here. 1.5 hours. It was an interesting game, a nail biter, at least up until even the middle. This multiple call situation.
Very complicated.
But even though a call is a very complicated situation, the policy did not blunder that much.
Yes.
What I expect could be happening, but I'm not sure, is so if you imagine how the training looks like, it just takes in inputs and predicts the output. So when you have a call, usually the call is played multiple times. So each situation with a call will appear, let's say, more times in the training set than like a random position. I'm not sure if you know what I mean.
Interesting.
So what I think that this network might do or want to do is actually it plays call more often than it should. I'm not sure. That's my like strange hypothesis, that because like the call situation in a game, let's say in a game, 2 players play the call 10 times or 20 times, then out of the 200 moves, 10% of the moves are concentrated around the call. And maybe it makes the network like overplay the call, like more eager to play the call. Actually created a lot of call scenarios here, right?
It did, but it were all good moves, creating this go on the bottom.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wait, student level. Do you know if this AI Sensei actually adjusts to the SGF provided, or no? It's probably my level.
It is your level, yes. It is your level on your account.
Unfortunate, because it would be nice. I just talked with Gracian today about a possibility of having a tool which would guess your level just by looking at a single game.
Yes, of course.
I'm not sure if that
I
exists.
don't know of this done yet, but of course it's a very good idea for a project.
Right. I omitted the messages from the chat in a few past minutes, but I think I already told the conclusions. The next big step is actually creating the value network and the tree search, and once those will be created and working, it could achieve a very good level, but it depends on those two other components. The policy we think is quite fine right now. And also the bigger, let's say, picture of the whole group we had, I'm not sure if you heard about this, there's a thing called sub-goal search. I'm not sure if this ever crossed your ear.
Yes. I tried, like I saw the paper because it was a news on our Slack, but I haven't go deep into it, so I don't know how it actually works.
Right. So maybe just this one last question about your intuition about this idea. So I will just very briefly explain this idea to you, and you can tell us what you think, whether it has a chance or not. So let's say currently the policy network gets an input, a board, and as an output, it tells you the next move that should be played. But instead of that, we can give it, let's say, a harder task, which is to predict, instead of where the next move should be played, it could predict the whole board state after the next move played. Well, it's just a harder task, but it's essentially the same thing. And from our initial experiments, it is able to, let's say, predict the next board state quite accurately, meaning that it can, let's say, learn the environment of the game. It provides legal board states. But if it can do this with a full board state, let's say one move ahead, we can just try as an input, put a current board, as an output to predict the board state after k moves in that game. And the k could be, let's say, if the k is 1, then we basically have a policy network. But if the k is 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever, what the network tries to predict is the board state after 3 or 5 or 10 moves in the game. If the games are high level, then we expect the accuracy of the players to be quite high. But what this would allow us to do is maybe a quick paint illustration. So normal MCTS has a board.
By the way, are you sharing the screen on the stream also? So
no.
can they see if you are talking? So maybe you should share the screen there.
Very good information do I have. Why is there no paint? I'm not sure if I can share the paint for whatever reason.
No, of course you should be able. If it is not showing up, then you need to minimize, maximize the OBS window again, minimize, maximize the paint window again, and it will show up on the list of windows.
Well, if it does not show up, then I can maybe just the whole...
You can also share the screen, yes.
Yeah, the whole screen. Okay. But it's okay. I will just create a new screen. Okay, now it should be fine. And I guess you can see that in the Discord. So a normal MCTS just takes a board state, let's say, I don't know, B or whatever, and just predicts the policy or whatever, predicts the next moves, and then we have all the, say, B plus 1 move, all the board states, and then we just predict from those the next responses, etc., etc., etc. But as I presented the problem to you, instead of predicting the next move and just playing the next move in the tree, we can try to predict a legal board state after 3 moves or 5 moves or 10 moves. So actually, this would represent having a board state. Each of those links would be of length k or whatever. So this would be actually a legal board state it tries to predict after k moves, and we expect the moves to be accurate because they are taken from a good data set or whatever. And this way, even though we would have the same amount of nodes in the tree, in the original one when the tree would have depth, let's say 10, then at the end we would have leaves with board states 10 moves ahead. But here, when each link is, let's say, k moves, consecutive moves, then having the tree depth of 10 gives us the actual leaves having b plus 10k, which is, I don't know, let's say 30 moves ahead or 50 moves ahead or whatever. A question from the chat: who won? Stanisław won, although it was quite close at a few times.
Yes. Yeah, 2 times I was behind.
The bot even had an advantage a few times. I'm not sure if you can see. There is a chart showing that the black in 3 positions up until the mid of the game had advantage, and even before that it was not that far behind. Okay, I guess the channel without any content was rooting for you. But the AI is also a Polish invention, so so you should also root for the AI. It actually might be even in some sense a greater achievement if this AI would be the best of the AIs, because it would probably make a lot of news around the world. And obviously, even if you root for Shasho, he will probably be a part of the team that is behind this AI. So even for him, it would be probably better.
We are waiting for the bot to surpass me.
Right.
Yeah. So my intuition on this is that it might be not so easy to predict states after, let's say, even 3 moves or the more 10 moves, because usually there are more than one good move on a Go board, and then more than one answer. So then, can you hope that, like, if you do it just naively, that you are minimizing the difference between the predictions and the state after a few moves, which appeared in the game, then you might get positions which are just incoherent sequences of moves.
I get your concern, but actually the chess, because a part of our team is applying similar ideas to chess, and they use k equal to 3, so just 3 moves one after another. And after a lot of training, like on human data or mix of human and computer data, they call this metric perfect sequence accuracy. So how many times it predicted exactly the same board as in the game after k moves. So
okay,
for k equals to 3, because I also was skeptical about whether it will be even able to at least once provide a correct board, because as you said, it will maybe try to do some different patterns. But the perfect sequence accuracy was up in the 20% or something like that.
Well, that's better than 12.5, which we could expect from 50% accuracy for one move, right?
Yes, that's right, if we applied policy a few times. So, but even just lifting off from 0% is already good, because it doesn't mean that if the perfect sequence accuracy is 20%, it doesn't mean that 80% of the times it's just garbage. It probably actually means the contrary, that, well, probably it's able to predict a few good boards, because humans, let's say a few boards can be equivalent, right? Humans can play one way or another.
Yes.
And just a perfect sequence accuracy of 20%, I think, still means that the other 80%, there might be at least a few nice boards there as well, like legal, coherent. And actually, they also did some other examples where they took this sub-goal generated by the network and tried to check whether it's actually legal to achieve this sub goal in 3 moves. And I think pretty much 100% of the times it was legal to achieve. So it was actually a legal board.
Okay. All right. Good.
So it's quite surprising, but yes, the environment or the transformer was able to learn that, which surprised me at first. But if it is able to learn that, we hope that it might help actually the tree search itself.
But by the way, yes.
Just as an intuition, at least in Go, it did well. At least in my games, sometimes I do a similar thing in the sense that I calculate a sequence in one part of the board, or maybe even not exactly a sequence, like an approximate sequence in one part of the board, just to see who will have influence where after the sequence, and then adjust my moves based on that. I'm not sure if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So I know that in the corner there can be a standard sequence of 3/3 invasion played, which will result in myself having a wall pointing downwards. And upon on that, I can build, okay, if I have a wall pointing downwards, I can play a move on the right-hand side, and then something, I have a moyo, and then what happens when I have a moyo on the right side. So those jumps are sort of almost human-like in some sense.
Yes.
And if they are, then maybe the human can approximate that. Because I think when you play it, you also sometimes do this trick. You don't go move by move, you just apply an approximate sequence somewhere.
Like especially in the fixed sequence called Josekis, I can just imagine many moves.
So maybe
the same
and probably those sequences should be able to very, very easily learn because they appear very often.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we have this. This is quite flexible because maybe in the beginning of the game we can use sub-goal search, and at some point switch to normal policy value. We can do any combination of that, right? So that's interesting, and I guess that concludes the stream. And I thank to everyone who came and watched us. Everyone who participated in the chat. It was quite interesting thing to participate. The game also was interesting from my point and probably from Sieciu's point as well. And we hope that this cooperation will continue. And if it goes well, we might have some big news, or at least we hope to have some big news. The chess team is also trying to achieve maybe state-of-the-art results, or at least very, very good results, maybe with less computation, because the trees will be less nodes, right? And predicting a similar thing. And maybe in the future we hold another stream where Sieciu will play maybe policy plus value transformer, and we will see who wins then. So
all right.
Don't be overconfident yet. We will come back at you. Yes, and we will try to win with you at some point.
Okay. Yes, sure.
Cool.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you a lot, and goodbye to everyone. The stream was recorded, so if you missed a part of it, you can just go through the same link and you will have the full recording on YouTube. Cool. See you all around, and